Hi guys, welcome to my channel Lush Gardener. I hope you guys are fine and are safe. So today I have another rare succulent that I wanted to show you guys. Now this is called as CRASSULA elegans. Now you might have heard about Echeveria elegans, but this is CRASSULA elegans. Now either it is called as purple form or purple light. So this is a variety of Echeveria elegans. It's quite a rare succulent. You won't usually tend to find this quite often, but this succulent tends to turn quite purple in color. It's slightly dehydrated right now. The soil is very dry. I will be going ahead and watering it. Now this portion over here, it got dried up and it fell off when I initially got it. So I had put the cutting in this part and you can see it's doing well. It is little difficult. So talking about the care requirements, the soil has to be very loose and porous. Now I have added a little bit of garden soil above. That is why the soil tends to look very compact, but ideally the soil is very loose. As you can see, the soil is very loose. I have just added an inch of garden soil so that it can reduce the rate of evaporation, but the soil is very loose. It just tends to look like it's very compact. Now talking about watering, water it only when the soil is completely bone dry, because the leaves are little chubby, which means that it can store some water in their leaves. It requires a good amount of sunlight, but right now it's kept in indirect bright light because it's quite warm, so I have kept it in indirect bright light. But once when the winters come in, I will expose it to morning direct sunlight for at least 5 to 6 hours, and then it's going to get that beautiful purple form. But as of now it's going to be kept in indirect bright light because it's very small, and apart from that it's very warm as well. Now it belongs to the CRASSULA variety, so it is going to get dormant. It is right now, it's in its dormant stage. Its growing period is during the winters, so I have to be extremely careful taking care of it because it's a very tiny one. So it is being given some special care of keeping it in indirect bright light and watering when the soil is completely bone dry. Now for this succulent I do not use a watering bottle. I just use the bottom watering method because I do not want to overwater it. So I'll be doing a bottom watering. So I'll be going ahead and doing bottom watering. I have a container with little water in it, and I'm just going to take the pot and place it in it like this, and I will let it get watered. Now talking about pest issues, there are not much pest issues with this. This plant is quite resilient to pests because it has these really thick leaves and they have this texture on the leaves, due to which mealybugs usually do not attack this plant. But it's always better to be on the safer side to check once a week or once in 2 weeks. If you tend to see any mealybugs, you can go for the organic solution. Now talking about the soil, it has to be very loose and porous. As I said, try to keep the soil on the drier side. Do not keep it very moist because they usually do not prefer moist soil. So try to use a mix which tends to dry faster. Over here for me the issue is that the soil tends to dry very quick. So that's the reason why I have added some garden soil above it so that the succulent can have a quick drink. So as I said, it is going to be a little difficult succulent for a lot of beginners. So if you find a succulent and if you want to buy it, you have to keep these things in mind. Keep the soil loose, porous and well draining. Initially during the summers, try to keep it in indirect cool area so that it doesn't get very warm. Apart from that, you have to give it a good amount of light. Either you can give indirect bright light or you can give morning direct sunlight. If you are from a place wherein the temperature is extreme, it's very warm, then you will have to grow it indoors under grow light. It requires a good amount of light. Otherwise, you can see right now the plant is very compact. If it lacks light, it will start to stretch. And trust me guys, these succulents, when they tend to stretch, they don't look very appealing. They look very good when they have these compact leaves. So give it a good amount of light. Only probably if you're going to find this plant online, it's an extremely beautiful succulent. It belongs to the variety of CRASSULA called as CRASSULA elegans, purple form or maybe purple light. These are the two names that are being featured on Google. So now you can see it's pretty much working out. You can see the top layer of the soil is getting wet, because I also had a question, how long should we leave the plant in the saucer or the container for it to get bottom watered? That is until the entire upper layer of soil is completely wet. Here it is much more visible because as you can see, the soil was dry, it was light in color, but now it's getting wet, so it's getting darker in color. So that indicates that the process is going to get completed. A little bit more of dry soil, and once that's completely wet, I will take out the succulent from the pot. So I'll just wait for another couple of minutes, and I'll just fast forward it so that you can see. It does take a little bit of time, but that's absolutely fine. Growing succulents, it's all about having a lot of patience. So yes, that is one of the key thing that you need to have while growing succulents. So it's almost pretty much done. So this is how I tend to bottom water, especially the ones that I'm very scared about overwatering. I go for bottom watering. But again, as I said, during summers you need to have a little bit of experience with bottom watering, because as I said, bottom watering, the soil tends to dry much faster compared to top watering. So you should know when exactly the soil is dry and when you have to water it. The best thing what you can do is just poke your finger into the soil and check. If you feel that the soil is dry, you can go ahead and water it. If you feel the soil is still a little moist, there is no harm in waiting. It's always better to wait rather than overwatering your succulent. So that's all about it. It's done. So I will keep it aside, and all of the excess water is going to drop out. So that's pretty simple. So guys, I hope that this video was helpful to you. If it was, please hit the like button. If you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing to it. Until then, take care, stay safe, and keep propagating.